Good morning everybody. I'm just going to do a very quick let's get ready with me daytime makeup. I'm nipping to Edinburgh and I've got virtually 10 minutes to quickly get my face ready, and if I don't, I'm not going to make the shops. I'm just going over to get the last couple hours of the Harrods beauty event over in Edinburgh. It's been on for a few days and I've been going to go and I've not, and I thought, right, just hurry up and get yourself over. So let's get on with this video. So the first thing I was going to just quickly show you is I picked up this Hermes metal palette and applicator. Completely extravagant, I know. But I do use a metal palette. I use actually, you know the things you use to sweep up your face? That's what I usually use for my makeup. Now, I actually put the photo on Instagram and a few people said, what a waste. Yeah, it's probably a waste of money because there's obviously cheaper alternatives. But a lot of people just put makeup on their hands. However, when you put makeup on your hands, I think you use twice as much foundation. On the plate you can get, if you're mixing two colours, which to be fair, most people are not the perfect colour. It's one thing that I always scratch my head at, how people pick foundation online. It comes and they just make do. The perfect foundation, the perfect colour foundation is more important than the brand of the foundation, because you can have the best foundation in the world, but if it's not the right colour, it's not going to be right. And on Instagram in particular, I see loads and loads of photos of people with the wrong colour of foundation. I mean, I'm no expert, but your foundation should be the same as your face. Anyway, I'm just going to show you this wee plate and then I'll use it just because I just thought I'd include a wee unboxing. So there it is. It's a little plate. You put your foundation on it and there's a wee palette, a wee rubbery thing for scooping the foundation out pots or whatever. So yeah, that's an absolute gimmick. See, it's just got the wee Hermes kind of logo on it. Yep, and it means cleaning it, but I actually clean my palette and I clean my brushes every single time I use them. So I'm going to get on with this because I've really genuinely only got 10 minutes, and if I've only got 10 minutes, it means to keep it real. I'm going to use a mixture of products, but I would say one size of products don't fit all. I'm 55. I have got quite dry skin and I do protect my skin. I like my face quite dewy. I don't like a lot of powders on my face. So, you know, people do have different techniques, what works for them and what they prefer and different things. So let's not be critical of each other. Let's just do our own things. And sometimes you can pick tips up from each other. So first of all, I always put a serum on my face just to get it moist and plump. Now, there's some products I'm using that are more expensive than others. There is cheaper versions of them, but let's just go on with it. So the one I'm using, I've got using a couple just now, but here, this one I now got, I actually got it from the Christmas, this was the Christmas packaging from Peau, and I actually got it and it was about 50% off after Christmas, which is why I bought it. However, you can refill it, and that's why I took it, because it is refillable, so it's quite nice packaging. And this is the serum, and however, Clé de Peau is owned by Shiseido. Shiseido bought this company, or no, Shiseido launched Clé de Peau about 20 years ago, I think it is. And don't quote me, but it's about that. So actually, there is quite a few comparable products that would you like from, like, now this actually came from the Caroline Hirons kit. I actually did a video of it, but I couldn't get it to load. I think I did it in 4D. So this is Power Infusion Serum. And this came as part of the Caroline Hirons set, which was £130 for 5 pieces plus the taupe. But I think this is, what size is this? This is 50ml or 75ml, and it's about £70, where this is about £200. I did get a massive discount though, so I'm just telling you there's alternatives. So it's quite liquidy, and all I'm going to do is put it in my hand. I've just virtually come out of the shower, which is why I'm actually very red, because I've just come out of the shower. And another thing is I just blow dried my hair and waxed it, so I'm going to look a bit more red. And there is some daylight coming in, but it's not particularly a great day, so I'm not sure how well this video will come out. So all I'm doing is putting this serum on. It's quite a, not gel-like, but watery gel-like. Kind of, it's not milky either. It's liquidy anyway, but I like it. See, it's so you can see the plumpiness is starting. So that I always do this step. I do 3 steps. My second step is a face oil. Again, some people don't like oily faces, but if you have an oily face, actually, if you use oil, if you use oils on your face, it actually stops your face producing oil, because your face is producing oil mostly because it's slightly dry, and people can't get their head around that, but that is true. Anyway, the one I'm using just now is the Arborial Royal. It's by Galeron. I'll get the box. However, this has got really good reviews, and you know something, I've had this one for about, I don't know, 4 months, and I use it twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, because I do my face before I go to the gym, after I go to the gym, after my work, blah blah blah. It's got a wee kind of, some kind of wee things in it. However, I've got this one. Another one that I quite like is this Ren one. But anything that's proper oily, there's lots of face oils. This one is particularly good. It's got an amazing scent. So I'm just going to quickly pop this on, just like half a pipette or a third of a pipette, pop it on. Now, some people don't like to see the smell of this. Absolutely amazing. It smells like a spa. So there's no question about it. I like my face quite dewy. People always say I've got quite good skin, but I always usually, I've actually not put SPF on, but it's quite dull here, but I usually always do. I quite like the La Rosie, whatever it is, La Rosie. How do you know it? How do you pronounce it? Oh my god, my brain's not working. Perimenopause has got so much to answer for. What is it? Roche La Pose or Pose La Rose? You know what I mean? They do actually quite a good SPF. I've also got a Dior one that came in the Dior kit that's got quite good reviews that I'm going to use this year. So that's me. Got my oil on. And then, so you'll probably see I'm starting to look quite oily. And I've got quite a few skincare creams on the go. This is Naked Thrive Restore. It's actually a night cream. I always use a night cream. This one's another one. This was actually says it's a serum, but actually I think it's more like a moisturiser. It's a vitamin C one, and it's, to be fair, does this actually refill as well? Actually, let's see. This is, oh, Skin Rock. Look, it is a refillable one. So that's the Skin Rock Caroline Herons as well, and this is definitely quite creamy. So although it's a serum, it's not serumy enough for me as my first layer. So I'm just going to pop a bit of this. But you know what? There's so many different skincare products, and everybody's works differently for each other. One of the most important things is cleansing your face, oiling your face, going to your bed. I mean, there's some huge dermatologists argue that Vaseline on your face at night going to bed is a good thing. But I always oil my face, and I'm using Medigrate just now. I've been using it for years actually, the retinol. A lot of people use the stronger one, and I can't remember what the stronger one's called. But the research I've done, the Medigate one really has good reviews. I've never needed to. I've got 2. This is the first step, which is 3 retinol 3, and this is retinol 6. And I use 3. So it's the first stage. I use 3 maybe once or twice a week. And then I use that maybe once a fortnight. So I actually go back and forth between them. Right, wait a minute. This is the La Roche Posay. This is actually another one. This is a little bottle of this. However, it's called Hyrule B5 Serum Surface. That actually is the other serum I really like. This one's very good. You get it in a big bottle, but this is a sample that I got from somewhere. So I've actually kept that to put in my travel kit from away for the weekend or whatever. This one's also very good. So there's a few serums. It doesn't have to be, and this one's maybe £20 or something or other. It's definitely not 200. Right, so I've put my this light's bright. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do my eyes easily in this. I might need to do my eyes on a side mirror. I'll see how I go on. I've got a big mirror, but I might need to do this at this. I would be able to do that. I'll be able to do it here, and the mirror will be out the way. I should be able to do it like that. Right, I didn't do that very well, did I? But you can see how dewy my face is. It's a shame because the mirror, this camera isn't really showing my face very red, but when I see out the mirror, it doesn't actually look quite as what's the word I'm looking for? As blotchy. Right, I'm actually going to quickly do my eyes first, but just before that I'm going to just pop some colour corrector on. This one I'm using just now is an Illamasqua. Now, it doesn't matter what the brand is. My favourite brand is Bobbi Brown Colour Bisque. And it should have, if you've got any blue or green colour corrector, it should be an orangey colour like that. Look at the back. It should be an orangey colour like that. It's the only colour that will neutralise dark marks. Concealer doesn't do it. And the world's obsessed with concealer. I don't know if you can see it. I've only just started dabbing on, and remember, I don't know if you've seen my other video I was talking about, I've got a dent on my nose because I've got new glasses, and I'm still struggling with the fit of them. They weren't even cheap too, they're lovely Vivienne Westwood ones, but they're not, they're denting my nose. So all I'm doing is, just because my moisturiser is still, I usually actually do my eyes before I do moisturiser. I've kind of done it back to front, but I'm just putting a bit of colour corrector on it because my face is warm. Right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to do really over dramatic wings and that. So I'm going to use Clay de Peau, and I'm going to use the green palette. I can't remember what the colour this is. I can insert it, but I really like this one. Now that I've grown my hair colour out, I've grown my natural colour out. I've been blonde for 40 years. I'm been doing a bit more green eyes just now. Of this palette, this one here is like a primer. It's not got much colour in it, but it's a bit of a primer. So I'm actually going to use the wee padded brush thing that's inside just to put a layer on, and it just kind of puts it. You can use concealer's not a bad thing for just priming your eyes, especially if you're older. So I'm just putting this on a little bit, just as a little bit of a primer and a base colour. It'll just make my eyelids a bit more all the same colour. Just take any colour imperfections out. I'm not putting loads on, it's just a layer. So we're at 11 minutes. God, I'll need to hurry up because I'm going to take forever. I said I'd be 10 minutes and we're at 11 minutes already, guys. I'm sorry. Right, so that's the base. So I'm not going to do this absolutely to perfection. The other thing I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to quickly gel my brows. This is just a cheap Maybelline Super Lock, but I've actually seen good reviews. I don't like gel, eyebrow setting gel with colour in it, because it just goes everywhere. So I'm just brushing them a little bit. Now, a lot of people might not use eyebrow gel, but you know what's really good about it? Especially when you hit my age, your eyebrow hair becomes a bit harder. And the hair tends to go all different directions. So I'm just letting that dry. Right, and I'll go back to my eyeshadow. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of a little bit of another base, just because I'm not going to do a super dark look today. Normally I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham Cocoa, and all I'm going to use is take a little bit of this just to put on top of that base I've already done. So it virtually is just a little bit. See, you tap in here, you don't tap there all over your bedroom carpet or your dressing table. Well, I certainly wouldn't anyway. So all I'm doing is putting a tiny bit of that, and it's going to just go on top of the primer that's already there. It's almost identical colour, but it just gives that little bit more depth. And because I'm virtually just doing a day look, it doesn't need to be crazy. I'm not going to do wings, or I'm just going out to shops for an hour basically and back home. Right, so that's all I'm using out that Victoria Beckham palette. Now I'm going to go to the greeny one here. I need to use a smaller brush. I've actually got rid of all my, I've just bought new brushes, and you know what? It doesn't matter how much your brushes cost. It's more about how you use them, the skill of using them. But I'll tell you something else. It takes you a little bit of a while to get used to using new brushes. So I'm just starting off with I'm doing it with my eyes opened. So we used to always just do it set in the crease, but the problem is when you go right in the crease to begin with, you're kind of missing the upper bit. So I'm just going to do that. I know I like to do both bits at the same time, so I kind of know they're equal. I don't know what everyone else does, but that's what I do. I like to do them at the same time. Can you see I'm building up the colour above? So I'm still in the same green, and I'm just building this up over here. It will all get blended in once it's all the blending at the end is obviously one of the most important things. I'm going to try and so that's me just got some base on it, and then I can go over this brush again and just do a little bit blending. So that was my original brush. Just blend them in a bit first, and I'm just taking it up a bit higher. Right, so I'm now going to I should have got more brushes out, I tell you. I'm really just struggling a bit getting used to these brushes. I bought all the new Morph. Is it Morph? It was, I can't remember what the make of the guy was. It was a I want to set the picture because it was on special. Right, I'm going to go with this one here. Just going to use a slightly different brush. It's just still slightly smaller, and I'm now going to go a wee bit into the socket, and it's just going to give an additional bit of depth, just a little bit, just to give that slightly deeper look. And I'm going to blend again in a minute, and then I'm just going to go down on the side bit. Now I'm not doing wings by eyeliner or anything, but what I'll do is I'll show you when I put a bit of darker bit on my eyelid, you can create a slight wing afterwards. Right, this is going to be quite quick. I'm not being super pernickety. So as I say, this is more a day look, so I'm not going crazy. Hopefully you can see I'm going to still blend, and I'm still going to cut it in with my concealer, and I'll show you how that will look in a minute. Right, I'm going back to my original blending brush, so I'm blending all in again. Now blending over the eyelid a bit. Blend, just keep blending. The time that you take blending is the most important ever. So it's going to look a bit messy now, because it always does. Then you've got to clean it all up. Right, so I'm going quickly. Now my eyebrow pencil did set. Did I take my eyebrow pencil out? Wait 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to find my... What have I done my eyebrow pencil? I have no idea what I've done my eyebrow pencil, but it won't actually matter. Oh, I see it. Sorry, I should have been a bit more organised and had this out. I'm only going to just slightly, this is a Benefit one. It's actually a little bit light for me. I got an auburn because I've been growing my hair back out. So all I'm doing is, I get my eyebrows waxed and tinted every 3 weeks, even though they're microbladed. Because people think you get your eyebrows microbladed and they don't need any done. But if you've got fair hair, like I do, then it still needs waxed and tinted all the time. The hair does. So I've just only touched up a little bit because I've obviously set it with gel, but it's just to give it a little bit. That was just a Benefit one, to be fair. Precisely my brow pencil. I got it in Florida at Sephora. One of the girls recommended it. Right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just very briefly instead, or maybe I will do a bit of eyeliner. Maybe I will, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Will I, will I not? Actually, I don't think I will. I'll do an eyeliner one another day when I've got a tiny bit more time. Right, I'm just going to go in with this darker green one, just a tiny bit, and all I'm going to do is just very gently do that under there, almost just like I'm creating a bit of eyeliner. I'm talking about minuscule, and this will just save me. And I'm just going to take up a little bit. I'm talking about ever so slightly, like I'm doing a wing, but I'm meaning just ever so slightly, because when I correct it with a concealer, you'll see how I make an ever so slight eyeshadow wing. I'm just blending it in a bit. Get my big blending brush. Once I go over it with the concealer, you'll see what I mean. Right, so I'm just going to quickly get my eyelash colour, which I thought I'd got out. Oh, I'm really doing well today, guys. I thought I had everything out, but I have no idea. What have I done? Oh, there it's there. I'm so sorry. I was going to be 10 minutes. I'm taking forever. Right, always use your eyelash colour. A good tip is to heat up with hairdryer, but for the prep, to say put my hairdryer on and making it noisy, I'm just giving it a squeeze. But I always heat the wee thing up with an eyelash curler first. And two things I always use. I always use eyelash primer, and the two ones I like is Dior and Estee Lauder. They're both equally as good as one another, and this is a game changer. I have used this for, what am I, 25, more than 25 years. So all I'm doing is like a little bit of cream. It's not a fibre thing or anything like that. It just puts a little prime on your lashes. And it does help lengthen the lashes. This is one of my favourite mascaras, the Chanel one. I can't remember exactly what one it is. It's Le Volume de Chanel. And this is just a black one. I do quite like dark brown, but I've not got dark brown in this one. So I'm just quickly doing, I'll put it on and I'll look at you. But this is actually really, really nice mascara. I've got 3 Victoria Beckham ones and I don't like any of them. I don't like the Victoria Beckham. I've had the white one. The cocoa one that comes in the cocoa set, the brown one, is okay for my work. But it's average. It's at best average. The white one, the white tube, I can't remember what it's called. I got the tester and then I bought a tube of it. And oh my god, it just goes all over your face. It goes clumpy. It's something you'd wear when you're a teenager, that clumpiness, I think. For me anyway. And it just smudges. So there you go. Now I'm still looking a bit messy, but you'll see what I'm going to do when I clean it up. Right, so I thought I had everything out today, and I clearly do not have everything out. My 2 favourite concealers are Clé de Peau. They're both Clé de Peau. This is the cream one. I can't remember what it's called. It's called the, don't know, it's the clicky one anyway. I use that for cleaning up my eyes and things like that and creating lines, I'll show you. And then there's this one, which is just a concealer stick. That's good for concealing. Right, so what I'm going to do is, you just give this a click. Right, the 2 things I do is, I use this for cleaning up my eyeshadow, but the other thing it does is, it'll create a wing. So if your hand is not particularly stable, and you just take your eyeshadow out enough, I'm going to blend that all in, but can you see I've managed to create a wing? I'm just taking a wee bit of colour in there. Concealer is not supposed to be under there, that's where colour corrector goes. Now, I should have had a concealer, a tiny concealer brush out. I have no idea what I'm doing today. I am actually off, losing my plot. I thought I had semi-planned this, but I haven't really been. I'm using a tiny concealer brush. This is the Hermes one that came in a wee travel set that I bought. But this one's a nice size. Now, I'm going to spray it with a Tatcha. This is a face dewy mist thing. But I like my brushes to be a bit damp. So I'm just going to blend it out just a tiny bit. Just really so it's not a severe line. But hopefully this is a good wee tip for you guys for almost creating. Can you see what I've done? It's almost created a... Now when I'm finished, usually I can go back and put
I don't know why I keep saying that, but it's eyeliner I'm talking about.
Right, the foundation I'm going to use today is I'm going to use my Clé de Peau, the foundation. It's crazy price, it's £280. It is absolutely amazing. However, only slightly second is Armani Luminous Silk. I've used Armani Luminous Silk for 30 years. It can't be beaten, except for that with price. But this is like £45, this is £280. The 2 of them, I've had the Victoria Beckham, I've had the Clé de Peau's, I've had every brand of foundation. This one's a good close second. This is the Natural Fluid Radiant Foundation. It's not the matte one. I do like this. The only problem is, these are both supposed to be the same colour. They're both B30s. And this is actually slightly too dark. So I have to mix it with something to use it. So this is the new colour. The new formula, and the colour is supposed to be the same as the old one. It's not. This is a 5 and I'm normally 4.75, and this is quite a bit different. However, I'm mixing them. And that's what palettes are good for, that you can mix foundation. So I'm going to just put some of this on my tray. Just give me a second. I'm going to open this up and use my spatula. I just take a chunk out, a wee bit out. You don't need a lot. This is a very sheen foundation. All I'm going to do is pop it on this palette. I'll show you in a wee seconds. And then my brush, the little bit of surplus on this, I'm just going to rub it onto the brush just to save wasting product. So there's my foundation on there. I'm just going to dab it. Now, because I'm not putting this on my hand, you need far, far less product. So I like a brush. People use sponges, people use fingers. I like a brush. I think the brush you're getting it evenly spread all over your face. I don't think you get patches, and if you've dabbed product all over your face, you I think you've not got consistency of how much product you've got in what bit of your face. So I'm not doing bronzer or anything today. I don't actually really wear a lot of bronzer, a little bit sometimes when I'm going out. You know, if I'm going out. Hopefully you can see this coming together on this. My brush, my foundation brush was a little bit damp, and I did want it a bit damp. I tend to always have it a bit damp. Put that back on my, put another wee extra bit on my tray because I didn't actually put too much on it. I need to go with my lips around my nose. Just going under my eye. I've still got that dent. There's nothing I can do about it till I get my glasses sorted. The pads must be too hard for my nose. So I'm not sure if I need to go and get them to put... I did go in and they turned them around and they said that would help, but it hasn't. It's still continued to dent them in. I wear my contacts quite a bit, but I like to wear my glasses to my work. Right, I've not put a lot of foundation on, just a little bit. Foundation should just be enough and no more. It shouldn't be super thick. Right, so I'm going over there. Right, I'm just going to put the lid on my foundation and pop that there. And I'm just going to grab my concealer stick. Again, I don't use a lot of concealer. This one is absolutely, I can't remember what number it is. It's, I'll call it beige. This is absolutely, like, this colour could not be any more perfect for my skin. I mean, it's like a match made in heaven. I'll need to make sure I don't miss any. Now, rather than putting 200 layers of foundation, this is where a wee touch of concealer that's good quality. It's not thick. It's almost just going on a little bit like just like a top up of foundation. And I'm going to just use this brush again. I'm going to blend it in. And what I do is when anything I've sort of missed, I tend to pick up then again when I do my blusher. So I'm just, this light's actually terrible for me. I don't usually do my makeup sitting here, so I'm hoping I've not concealer marks sitting everywhere. I'm going to have to hurry up because it's 27 minutes. You guys will be demented doing this. Bear in mind I'm 55, so I'm just trying to keep it quite natural. Right, now what I was saying to you about this, I'm going to go back to this. What's the other one? The other one that's amazing for that is that Yves Saint Laurent. They're both almost the same. I like these for doing a bit of highlighting on your face. So what I'm going to do is, you see me doing it at my eye. I'm just going to do it very gently at my eye, at the side. And you do it just a bit here. A little bit here. So this is a bit lighter. And what it does is, it just slightly lifts. I'm obviously going to blend it in, but it will just slightly lift your face, just ever so slightly. You see it? See all my marks? You'll be laughing at me, but it works. So I'm just gently, just brushing that away. It's only a tiny bit, but what it does is, it just creates a little bit of light, just ever so slight. Hopefully you can see it. Just slightly lifts. My face looks still dead shiny, but it does settle down. Right, my blusher I'm going to use today, I'm going to use the Chanel one that came in the summer kit. It's Healthy Glow Blush. I actually like it. It came in the summer kit, but it came with the basket. I don't know if it's a limited edition colour. It's a pinky peach. Delicia it's called, but I quite like it. I've only used it a couple of times, but I do quite like it. Again, I'm going to pop it on my tray. I'm going to just pop that on my tray. And I'm actually going to use my same foundation brush. And the reason I do that is because it's nice and moist, and I immediately, after I'm finished doing my makeup, I immediately wash my brush and brush my eyeshadow brushes. I wash them every day, give them a quick wash in my ensuite sink and put them away. Let them dry, and then I'll put them away. I've got 2 or 3 ones that I use for each set. I really like this blusher. I like the colour, it's just nice. Can you see it's just giving me a hint of colour? At 55, I don't want to go about looking like Coco the Clown. So because I put that in my tray, rather than hand, I'm actually going to use half the amount. If I had to put that on my hand, which I very occasionally do, but I try not to, usually just if I'm in a hurry sometimes I'll do it. I prefer to use, so although that's blusher, I'm just going to go under here because I can't even bother doing bronzer. Right, just make sure I've got it blended. I don't do my cheek dapple my eyes, I kind of just do it where it's going, almost doing a tiny bit of contour into my face. There's nothing worse when you see, for me, someone that's a bit older and they've got so much makeup on, it just looks almost like too much. You know, you're almost spoiling the look. This is all going to settle down a bit. Now, just, I would have happily went out today with no powder in it, but just for people that have to powder their face, the Hourglass Swan and Deer palette. This is the Deer palette. There's 2 setting powders here. You can just gently touch them and no more. And if you want, just ever so slight. But I do not use a lot of powder on my face. That is why, it's not because I've not got wrinkles, I definitely have, but I think because if you don't powder anywhere around your eyes, you don't, it doesn't sit in the wrinkles. I've never had Botox, any fillers, anything. You can see I've had nothing done. This blush in here is absolutely amazing. See the colour it, it's almost very like the one I've done. The reason it's got a wee bit of darkness in it is because I used my wet brush on it. Now the other one I really like is the Swan one, which is the second, this is the darker one, if that makes sense. I'm going to quickly show you these if you haven't seen them. I'm going to try and do this very quickly. That's Swan and that's Deer. Can you see they're just slightly darker? The blusher and that's amazing. The blusher and that's amazing. But so I like the powder in this one because it's nice and light. I'm not using the bronzer or anything, but you know what I love? See this gold one here? I love using this as a topper. So although I've used the Clé de Peau, all I'm doing is taking a tiny, tiny bit of my finger, the tiniest bit, and I'm just going to tap it and no more on that centre bit. Now I'm talking about touching it and no more, and it just gives that ever so slight illumination. Right, I'm just going to quickly now do my lipstick, and then that should be me, guys. And I'll just, oh my god, I've got stuff everywhere. You can tell I'm not used to doing makeup things, but bear with me. I'm trying. Right, I'm going to stick with MAC Spice lip liner. Now, you get a bit older, you lose not just volume, but it feels like volume, but actually what you lose is you lose the pigment around the edge of your lip. So if you use a lip liner and just put tiniest bit of lip liner on anywhere in particular that you've lost your lip, just the pigment. Now if you want anything a bit bigger, just overline them a little bit. There we go. I'm by no means an expert, but a few people has asked me to do some of my makeup stuff. I'm going to do a couple. So actually a couple colours I really like now. I love this one. This is the Rose is Spice for Hermes. That's beautiful. It's almost identical to this lip liner in every way, shape and form, and that's MAC Spice. The Chantecaille is a really nice moisturising one. This is Pink Lotus. I've went through this really quick though. I've only had this for a couple of weeks. This one came in the set. It's colour 280 and it's Rouge Cocoa Flash. Oh Lord, the moisturising of this one's amazing. And I've got Lisa Elridge Audrey that sometimes I just put I love this colour as a topper. So I'm going to put the Chantecaille one on first, Pink Lotus. I tend to layer lipsticks. I think when you layer lipsticks, like your eyes, you create colour shadows. And a lot of these tips I got from Lisa Elridge actually. I'm talking at the same time. It's so absolutely moisturising. So that's the Chantecaille one. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a bit of Audrey on top just to give it a tiny bit more kind of curly nude on top. And what I find is if I just add a tiny bit of this, only changing it by one shade, it just makes my eyes pop. Right, I don't know how good this is looking in this video. It looks alright in my mirror here, but I don't know if it's I've put a ring light on it and I don't know if I've got it on the right shade. You know, it's got warm and cool. I've got it on the cool, and I'm not actually sure if it's the right one for my face, my colour. But, however, this is one I've went with, so you're going to just have to accept it, that this is what I've used. So, can you see that we're cleaning it all up? I've got it looks like I've got a bit of wing going on, and I've not even used any eyeliner or anything. It's just mascara and my eyeshadow. So, there you go. So I'm going to rush to get ready and run to Edinburgh. Hopefully this video doesn't look too bad in this light, because I'm not liking what I see in the camera, but I'm liking what I see when I look in the mirror. However, I can't really turn around like to see what I see in the mirror. Let's just see this light thing. I'm useless at these things. I don't know if this is, so I'm changing this light setting a bit, and I don't know what ones. I'm not very good with these things, you can tell. Oh, maybe I'm going the wrong way. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's it done. Have a great Sunday, and I'll catch you later. Take care. Thank you. Bye. If you want me to list the products, I'll list some products for you, and I'll put a couple of comparisons to the serums. But don't get caught up in necessarily brand. There's a lot of brands do very similar products, and you can try them. And like clearly I'm loving Clé de Peau just now. However, I don't use all Clé de Peau and everything. And I also have used products that have been almost identical that I still love and I'll still go back to. But I just, like everybody, I like to try different things. But anyway, that's my final goodbye. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I keep forgetting to say this. Please subscribe. Like the video, leave some comments. If there's anything you'd like to see, if you want to give me any tips, if you'd like any tips, just pop them in the comment box below, and I'll speak to you later, guys. Bye. I'm definitely away this time. Bye.